You know what I've come to realize? The reason why 42% of Americans' back is as big as a fucking Buick is because people get online and consume content like this and take people's opinions like this and think to themselves, I'm not on either one of those scales, so I can't nearly be that bad, until they walk up a flight of steps and they're out of breath, so much so that their heart feels like it's about to beat out of their chest. I might be talking about myself right now. Now look, I know a 10-piece hot honey boneless wing with bacon chili cheese fries and a crisp cherry Coke hate to see me coming, but what I can't admit is that that meal isn't healthy. And there's no way on earth am I going to get online and consume 3 times that amount and tell you guys, oh, you're beautiful in any size. Well, hold on. Back up, because you are beautiful in any size, but are you healthy in any size? No, you are not. There is so much we need to talk about today, and the first thing I want to talk about right now is starting off with the mukbangs. So it gained popularity in the 2010s all over YouTube, and it has really picked up steam as the 2020s has come in on TikTok. Now, listen, I am no stranger to watching mukbangs. Sometimes they can be interesting. I prefer the ones that are more like candy based, because I cannot watch that shit where they're like eating all sloppily. Why do you have cane sauce in freaking lobster juice dripping down your face, all over your fingers, and you're slurping and you're acting like you're choking on it and you're like on a fucking turkey leg? Bitch, get a napkin, please. Like, to each their own, though, because some people, you know, they get their rocks off watching that. Those individuals you may want to watch closely. Now, the point in all of this, you know, people do it for money. People do everything for money online at this point. The thing with mukbang content, they always eat so much food. Like, it's an outrageous amount for one person to be consuming. So the daily intake for the average Joe is supposed to be no more than 3,000 calories a day. But when you're sitting there eating 7,000 to 10,000 calories a day just because every day you're trying to get a check off social media, it starts to get a little odd when you start to look deep into it and just really think about the things that people are doing to their body for the sake of a coin. Now, I know y'all gonna be like, well, Deja, I know your big back ass ain't talking because you ain't little. Bitch, I never said I was. But what I will say is that I never sat in a camera and ate 10,000 calories as a challenge. Like, what's the challenge for? Like, the first to get diabetes? Who can have the highest blood pressure? Like, what's the challenge? Who wins? And furthermore, do they not feel sick after consuming that many calories? There's just no way you don't. And there has just been this crazy uprise and mukbang content all over TikTok where people are having Chipotle bowls that are dripping and freaking so big burritos that the burritos look like loaves of bread at first glance. And they're obviously getting the clicks and the views that they want because everybody's talking about it. It's like, to what extent? How far will you let this go? We live in such a odd world that we have now let gluttony become our source of income. You're seeing creators go from more of a small frame to more of a bigger frame after a couple of months of doing mukbang content. And at what cost? I think one of the first people who come to people's mind nowadays when they think of mukbang content is Nikacado Avacado. He started as a vegan, violinist, bird guy, you know, very small and healthy. And then he started doing mukbang content for YouTube. And of course, that probably started raking him in some cash. You know, he got really popular and famous or whatever off of doing mukbang content. And as you see, as the years go by, he got bigger and bigger and bigger, and to the point where it looked like his life was just in shambles, and how he had explained to the camera many times how he just hated what this YouTube thing did to him, how creating this content, how it ruined his life basically.
I'm not happy. I don't like what I've done. I don't like what I've become. I don't like what I look like. My life was going great until I decided to do this YouTube life, and I'm sitting here thinking I have thrown away the best years of my life.
Admitting he never would have started if given a second chance.
I wish I could turn back the clock. I wish I could go back in time. I wish I would never have done YouTube. I wish I would have never decided that this would be a fun way to make a living. My job is to face people who hate me, who don't care for me, that aren't even interested in me. They're here for someone fat. I don't like this. I don't like this channel. I don't like what I'm doing with my life. I had goals, I had dreams, and I threw it all away to eat food.
Just a few days ago, he came out with a video titled 2 Steps Ahead, and he had a crazy transformation. And if anybody is seeing this and you are really considering doing mukbang content, or you are doing mukbang content, I just want you to know that don't let it consume you, or let this dollar make you move and want to do crazy, outlandish shit like consuming 10,000 calories the way that it consumed him. Use him as a way of thinking about the choices that you're about to make, because not everybody make it out of that situation alive. Thank goodness Nikacado lost the weight. He's alive. He's healthy again. And he's back to doing the things that he loves. But a lot of these mukbangers don't. You got mukbangers and even fact activists who have created content around being fat and mukbanging and all of this, and then they die. Let's take this mukbanger, for instance, whose belly literally burst because the amount of food that they had consumed. That is insane. Do you understand how much food you have to eat to have an organ burst?
A 24-year-old extreme eater died during a live stream of a 10-hour food binge after her stomach reportedly ripped open. Pan Xiaoting, who is famous in China for her mukbang live streams, died after eating up to 10 kilograms or 22 pounds of food. Reportedly, an autopsy revealed that her stomach had been severely deformed and was filled with undigested food at the time of her death. She collapsed in front of thousands of live viewers, and fans urgently tried to send help, but ultimately it wasn't enough to save her. It's also reported that Xiaoting was hospitalized due to gastrointestinal bleeding the day before her death, but after being discharged, she continued with the challenge. Social media platforms in China have censored and started to remove mukbang content after a law was passed banning the practice, but the videos continue to emerge online, gaining millions of views.
So there's this place called Heart Attack Grille, or you have to be like over 300 or over 350 pounds in order to be able to eat free inside of their restaurant. And then the shit that they sell is like heart attack inducing. Well, I gotta do a freaking voiceover because when I tried to post the video, Demi Lovato was trying to take all my little coins for copyright. Anyways, this is the heart attack Grille. You gotta wear a hospital gown. You 350, you eat for free. And he sat there and got that octuple bypass burger. And that's exactly what the hell he gonna need when he get done eating the damn thing. Right in the back of the ambulance. Right in the back of the damn ambulance. It's just like, what is going? How is this legal? How is this even legal? Like, this is a mukbanger's dream right now. We got people over here going to Five Guys, putting 6 patties. 6 beef patties in between 2 buttery, greasy buns.
Let's break down the calories and macros of this absolute unit of a sandwich. So this is a Five Guys grilled cheese that she customized to add 6 patties, 6 slices of cheese, bacon, mayonnaise, and grilled onions. So this whole thing comes in at a whopping 2,455 calories.
If they're not going to Heart Attack Grille, they're doing it in other ways, like going to put 6 patties on a bun, which is as if fast food enough isn't already heart attack inducing enough. Let's just ramp it up 6 times. Like, you out here spending a down payment on a car on Five Guys. I want to go into my next point. When society is not that kind to fat people. So much so that I feel like every time I go to the doctor that I could be like, I can't feel my legs, and I shoved a bag of marbles on my ass and I don't know why. I feel like she'll be like, oh, just lose weight, instead of getting me like psychological help. she'll just chalk it up to weight gain. So let's talk about why body positivity movement, or the fat positivity movement, is now like a joke to me. Like, we didn't want to discriminate against people who may have ailments about them or something about them that they don't look like the typical skinny Victoria's Secret model. Like, you can be an amputee or in a wheelchair or have vitiligo or have some mommy fat or be plus size or be 300 pounds or be 90 pounds. And you can still be considered beautiful, still not be ashamed of what you look like, and still have clothing that fit you and look good on you, and have people modeling that type of stuff that look like you. Now we have shit that don't even make sense. You're talking about thigh gaps and hip dips and 400 pounds and healthy. Yeah, you could be 400 pounds and considered healthy because you don't have any outward obvious medical problems. But you got something called visceral fat around your internal organs. And that shit is the furthest thing from healthy. Y'all need to stop with this delusion. You keep trying to convince yourself that you're healthy when you're breathing hard as fuck. You know what? I get mad every time I talk about this type of stuff because I'm in this boat and I'm not living in a delusion. I know I'm big as hell. I'll be breathing hard as fuck, sitting still. Y'all on TikTok trying to convince everybody else that you healthy. And it's like, y'all getting out of hand with this. Or we have these other people who are like, body positivity. Don't be afraid of the fact that you have a wide rib cage. Excuse me, what? That's a thing. Wide rib cages, like that's a thing. What the fuck else is there that I need to be concerned about? Because now y'all bringing up shit that I never even thought about, and now I'm getting insecure about. You got the whole hip dip situation people are pointing out, and it's like I never was insecure about my hip dips until like now. And then moving on forward when it comes to this whole fat acceptance movement that's going on, is like, oh, I should get a free seat on airlines.
But J-Bay here is saying that, hey, thin people don't actually have to buy extra seats, meaning this is discrimination for fat people. She's basically saying that fat people should be given extra seats, just like disabled people are given wheelchairs.
Did you know that more than 1 billion people in the world are plus size? That's roughly 13% of the population. And yet, many airlines still don't have clear policies in place to accommodate plus size passengers. That's why I've started a petition calling on the FAA to require every airline to have a clear customer size policy in place for plus size passengers. By signing this petition, you can help us demand that airlines take concrete steps to make air travel more inclusive and accommodating for all passengers.
Am I tripping? Am I tripping right now if I say this? Now, y'all might call me an asshole, but why in the hell do I gotta pay extra if my bag is over 50 pounds? But you know what? I'm gonna just stop right there while I'm ahead. I'm just gonna stop right there because this shit is starting to piss me off. You know, I want people to be happy on this earth and I want them to be comfortable. But everything does not have to be accommodating to you because of choices that you've made in your life to lead you to where you are right now. I can take myself, for instance. I can expect things to be accommodated for me because of the choices I've made to leave me at the size that I am at right now. And that's fine. I shouldn't need a free airline seat because I'm spilling over into the next seat. There's been certain situations where there has been a weight limit and I've been above the weight limit and I couldn't do it. Like, what am I supposed to do? Force the people to let me ride the fucking horse and he just like collapse and die? I'm not about to be the cause of nobody's damn horse dying. No, hell no. Like, I can't call these people fat phobic because they won't let me ride the freaking pony. And for some reason, it feels like extreme fat activists, because not all fat people think like this, but extreme fat activists feel like they are entitled to these type of things because you're fat phobic if you don't let them on the airline and give them a free seat. I'm not saying we need to bring back 2000s diet culture because that was very toxic, but we also don't need to continue to have these outrageous 10,000 calorie challenges in this crazy amount of fat acceptance where you are starting to feel entitled and calling people all types of phobics because they don't agree with what you agree with.
You people can call me a fat phobe all you want. I watched my grandfather have a stroke and almost fall and break his neck, and my uncle caught him. Had 15 plus strokes, had to relearn how to read, walk, talk. He couldn't even read anymore. He could barely walk, he could barely talk, could barely feed himself, couldn't even cut his own food if he wanted to. And he died in his 60s and lived 10 miserable years in a wheelchair. And there's nothing wrong with being in a wheelchair, before I add. My grandmother one time stepped on glass, the neuropathy so bad in her feet, she didn't feel the glass for months and had to spend 2 months in Medicaid-run wound care. That same grandmother is now going blind and can barely see, and they're doing everything they can to save her eyesight, but the type 2 diabetes is killing her eyes. So you can call me a fat phobe all you want, but until you watch your grandparents literally die in front of you from something that was controllable, until you watch people have died in front of you from obesity, then you won't get it. But go ahead, call me a fat phobe all you want.
I do feel like the mukbang community, and I do feel like extremists, like fat activists, is promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. And a lot of people may disagree when I say that, but I do feel like they are. I understand that everybody wants to feel accepted, and sometimes you have to make your own group to feel accepted within, and that's fine, but we cannot start living in this delusion and acting like being this size or being really small on the other side of the spectrum is healthy, because it's not. Even in the 2000s, when people were like 2 meals away from not eating, and it's the same as being 2 Snicker bars away from getting full-blown type 2 diabetes. Like, we're not about to bring this back. We're not about to bring it back on either side of the spectrum. I really just hope y'all understand what I'm trying to say when I say this, and I'm not trying to come off as dense or fat phobic, you know, or none of that. I'm really just trying to talk about a problem that I'm starting to notice, and we need to just address it a little bit more. It's so sad how people are just so desperate to not want to work a regular job because, you know, YouTube and TikTok and all these social media platforms can really garner you a lot more money than working a 9 to 5. It's easier just to sit on camera and eat food than it is to go clock in for 8, 9, 10, 12 hours, you know. But I just want people to really understand what they're getting themselves into, because once you start, I really feel like it's difficult to stop. Some fat activists have passed away, telling you that being fat is okay. They've passed. Let that just sink in for a second. Like, the people that are telling you it's okay to be fat, you know, anybody that don't agree is fat phobic, and then they pass away, it's really eye-opening, and it's scary because these people are young.
Just because I'm fat, that doesn't invalidate the things that I say.
She died.
You ready to get supersized?
She died too.
Today I got the big Fruit Loop.
He's dead.
Join me on my fat positive radio show,
Which didn't last long because she died.
So there's that. One more thing I wanted to add is that I understand that people who are fat or on the heavier side all the time it isn't always them stuffing their face. So before y'all get in the comments and be like, oh, what about the people who have PCOS? Or you don't have to point that out. We know, okay? We know that several medical conditions, medications, birth control, pregnancy, all types of things can cause you to gain weight. So before y'all get in the comments and be like, well, what about those people? I ain't talking about y'all. Sit this one out. I really want to know what you guys think in the comments. I just hope this video doesn't come off as being mean or being insensitive, because I'm really not. I am on that boat with them, okay? I'm not a skinny girl in no way, shape, or form, okay? I am dealing with my own things over here, as well as many others out there. I just wanted to point out something that is just been bothering me, because we're trying to normalize something that should not be normalized on either side of the spectrums. I really want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions. So go ahead and tell me what you think down in the comments below. I really want to thank you guys for 7,000 subscribers. Like, what? I can't even fathom. I can't even fathom that I've reached that mark. And I can't thank you guys enough. So I really want to appreciate all my new subscribers and my previous subscribers and just everybody who has been supporting me with my last few videos. And thank you guys for listening to what I have to say. For so long, I haven't really felt like I've had that much of a voice. But when I get online, I really feel like I'm connecting with you guys, and I finally feel like I'm heard. Even though I crack jokes and all of that, I do mean well behind everything that I am saying. I never want to try to offend anybody. So if there is anything that I ever say in my videos, I want you guys to just put it down in the comments below. We can have a conversation, or you can DM me on Instagram. I want to thank you guys for all of your support, and welcome to my new capybaras. I really appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, speaking of capybaras, oh my gosh, I have to show you guys this. This is Cappy. This is my stuffed capybara. He has a Bronco coat on, as I have a Broncos jersey on. You're probably wondering what the heck is going on here. So it was football Sunday yesterday, and it's currently 3:18 in the morning that I'm filming this on a Monday. So you're welcome. Nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. And it gained popularity in the 2010s thanks to the internet and what it does to people. Jeez, you don't have to be that loud. Freaking Lysol thing scares the shit out of me every time it goes off.